Have you noticed that it is more controversial to criticize Oprah than to burn the American flag?
Really?
Seems that way. I've never heard anybody criticize Oprah. Do you think it's political, or do you think it's deeper than that? I mean, you're not like a right-winger.
No.
No? You don't even seem that political.
No, I'm not really. I'm pretty much, just want to do right by the people.
What if I told you that Oprah, yes, was just verbally abused by Tucker Carlson and Greg Gutfeld in a takedown so vicious that it made daytime TV seem like amateur hour? 1 minute, she's promoting self-love and soft lighting, and the next, Tucker is tearing down her empire like it's a house of inspirational cards, and Gutfeld is throwing sarcasm like glitter at a yoga retreat. What did they say that made Oprah blink in slow motion? Oh, this isn't a talk show. This is a roast with receipts.
Shortly after the Oscars, a 3.9 magnitude earthquake rocked LA. The tremors were so powerful, Oprah's ass is still moving. Why would you laugh at that? That's fat shamers.
When Oprah was the unfailing goddess of daytime TV, the mother of all couch revelations, and the high priestess of feel-good consumerism, she gave away cars. Now she's giving away credibility, and boy does she have plenty to spare. Fast forward to today, and she's essentially become a walking TED Talk, sponsored by Kale Smoothies and Billionaire Guilt. And guess who chose to use a jackhammer to subtly chisel through the marble statue of Oprah's legacy? Carlson and Greg Gutfeld weren't invited, and neither was Mercy.
For Winfrey, she's worth $3 billion. She's up there talking about all the racism she encountered.
But, okay, so Oprah Winfrey is American, but Kamala Harris, Jamaicans are not Americans, A. B, not oppressed in any sense. They're actually very successful in the United States. Caribbeans in general, I think, make more than native-born whites. They're successful, they're entrepreneurial. They're not part of the history of racism and slavery in the United States. Just the opposite. They just showed up here. So, this is ridiculous.
Let's start with Tucker, who, for the record, is allergic to anything that looks like fluff, fake sincerity, or a book club that recommends reading The Secret as a kind of economic policy. It's like watching a surgeon dissect Oprah. It may be gruesome, but it's definitely satisfying.
Here's Oprah on abortion.
If you do not have autonomy over this, if you cannot control when and how you choose to bring your children into this world and how they are raised and supported, there is no American dream.
There's no American dream without abortion. That to me sounds like a woman that's had an abortion. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Well, it's such a grotesque and crazy thing to say that clearly it's coming from somewhere.
Tucker focused on Oprah's preferred new job. This woman, who made billions by persuading middle-class Americans that they could improve their lives with gratitude journals and decorative candles, then turned to lecturing them on privilege from her avocado orchard, is the queen of moral authority. Elon Musk probably suffers from altitude sickness near this money pile.
Oprah's an icon who, unlike traditional politicians, could match a wild card like Donald Trump. And if she won, she could give everyone a free car. And how different is that really from most Democrats?
Do the golden forks in her Montecito mansion tremble every time she speaks truth to power? Gutfeld, on the other hand, appeared at Thanksgiving like your cynical uncle, armed with sarcasm, resentment, and a deep disdain for hypocrisy served with artisanal sprigs of parsley. He viewed Oprah's public appearances as if they were bad episodes of a self-congratulatory reality show in which the contestants are all billionaires who pretend to be oppressed.
5 words. Oprah's list of favorite things. So Oprah released her annual list of favorite things, and as usual, there are lots of expensive stuff. $1,000 pizza oven, $590 drip coffee maker, $80 of luxury salt. Sadly, no proposal from Stet.
This isn't about Oprah being rich, it's about pretending she's not. It's peak irony, flying to exclusive retreats to lecture us on minimalist living, right before Tucker reminded everyone of her Maui estate and the disaster relief fund debacle. Imagine a billionaire asking regular people for donations after a Wildfire Oprah's favorite performance, Crying on cue about the hardships of wealth is like Batman asking Gotham for Batmobile gas money. She even frames tough questions as psychological warfare. Gutfeld joked that Oprah's emotional range is like an Oscar nominee denied a sequel no one asked for Oprah to, richer, louder, sadder. And when Oprah endorses politicians, it's not. Advice, it's a royal decree, complete with piano music, soul talk, and Instagram filters, all from a pole with infinity edges. Nothing screams humility like pausing your billionaire life to play kingmaker.
I don't know what
On
that's
Oprah's show.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's.
But Oprah's obviously a saintly, godlike figure who's revered by all decent people. Why would she exclude you?
I really don't know. You know, that's something that I would love to find out. But I can't tell you, you know, if there's a single thing that I've done or said to her.
Tucker pointed out that Oprah's political endorsements hit like a wrecking ball preaching morality from a compound with its own zip code. Shocked when the public doesn't nod along. Maybe if she handed out private jet rides with her opinions, people would listen. Greg mocked her spiritual journey branding as a bougie midlife crisis dressed in Dreamcatcher's intentional breathing sold as cosmic power. Oprah's life is a curated contradiction gallery, pretending I'm just like you while hosting meditation retreats and $500 face cream launches on the same day. Then comes the Oprah Wisdomar, vague advice like manifest abundance and live your truth.
Music attacks women. I know the feeling. When I had a son, I stopped watching Oprah because it was just too anti-male, and I felt like I didn't want to bring him up in a home where Oprah was constantly attacking men, and it's really helped a lot. And it was only in the past 5 years when all this evidence would emerge, and I'd be like, well, that's not true. It doesn't seem true to me. Like, I don't know what the truth is, but I can tell when someone's lying. It's my one gift. And I would see these people lying, and I'd be like, why are they lying? I know they're lying, but why? And so I really came to this, like, at the age of 50.
Truth. Tucker joked that works perfectly if your truth includes offshore accounts and employees paid to agree with you all delivered under chandeliers made of recycled unicorn bones. Greg joked a more honest Oprah slogan would be, you get a tax write-off. You get a tax write-off, everyone gets a tax write-off. Because nothing says enlightenment like a diversified portfolio and brand deals with overpriced wellness startups. Her empire shifted from groundbreaking interviews to celery juice curing trauma. Tucker compared it to Harvard turning into a midday infomercial talking systemic injustice 1 minute, crystal healing the next. Gutfeld pitched OWN 2.0, cooking with vibes, where O is for overpriced, W for woo-woo, and N for nah. After Real Housewives of the Fifth Dimension and Detox Your Aura from a Yurt, Oprah fully leaned into royalty. No one milked the Meghan and Harry saga like she did. Tucker called it the world's most expensive group hug. Greg compared it to a high-budget gossip column. That interview wasn't journalism, it was therapy for influencers and
Do you think she went over this first to make sure it wasn't too extravagant?
You're missing the best one!
What?
Okay, it is a little journal and it's called I'm Dead, Now What? Important information on my belongings, business affairs, and wishes. Hand this to someone at Christmas, I dare you!
Even though Oprah branded herself as the world's therapist, every session ended with tears hers or her guests, leaving viewers wondering if they should feel emotional or just search Zillow for a $90 million mansion to find inner peace. Then came her annual award show sermons, delivered like a jeweled televangelist between Balthazar and Penelope Moonstone, quoting Maya Angelou before flying home in a custom Gulfstream gratitude rock in hand. Tucker mocked it as minimalism preached from a gold-plated jumpsuit on a mechanical peacock. Gutfeld joked her next speech would be, uplift the marginalized, but not near my vineyard. Please. The drones scare the llamas, Tucker added. Asking Oprah for humility was like asking a swan for subtlety. Greg finished it perfectly. Does doing better mean renting a yacht made of recycled empathy?
Tyrus, so you got salt, you got cheese, you got pizza.
I'm going to stop you there.
Yes.
I treat this like the list I get from my kids. They send me emails because they know when I laugh in their face, it hurts. Anyone who wants a $1,000 pizza oven,
you're going to get what Cat picked out. Like, that's the greatest gift you can give somebody because you can't return it. Because returning it, oh, you think you're immortal? You think you're better than us? Like, get your affairs in order. That's the great, you stole the show. They wanted me to talk about a dog towel. Towel's a towel. Great job. That's the best gift ever. And Oprah has never read this, just like I don't read the list my kids sent me.
Oprah's next career move was hilariously satirized by Greg, who joked she might terraform Mars with crystals and essential oils before launching an interplanetary book club. Today, we're reading The Martian again. NASA wouldn't know whether to panic or order matching robes. Tucker added that astronauts would quit instantly if Oprah gave them a 40-minute lecture fermented chia seeds. By the end, Tucker and Greg made it clear not even black holes could escape the pull of a sanctimonious billionaire. Oprah's empire now feels like a $10,000 entry wellness theme park complete with truffle aioli for enlightenment. What was once genuine inspiration has become a self-parody candlelit affirmations that sound deep but mean nothing.
I looked at this list, and you know what wasn't on there? Anything about Maui. Right? At one point in time, she and The Rock made that video to try to help out everybody who was hurt by the fire. And then that was just quickly discarded. She's like, okay, that didn't work. Who wants slippers? You want slippers. You get a pair of slippers. You're all getting slippers.
You think she might have given some money and not talked about it. I do that a lot. You never hear about my charity. Because I won't tell you.
No one's ever heard
about my...
You'd think someone who spent decades preaching authenticity would take a break from acting, but Oprah's become a full-time vibe merchant wrapped in cashmere, selling emotions like luxury handbags. Carlson and Gutfeld didn't have to invent anything, they just pulled back the velvet curtain and let the circus speak for itself. Oprah's not evil, she's just convinced. She's untouchable, an oracle floating above criticism or reality. The real twist? When she tells you to live your truth while sipping moonlight-filtered herbal tea, you don't question it to buy the cup, sign up for the class, and tweet the quote. That's why audiences still cry and journal along. Meanwhile, the Empress in a $3,000 outfit shares her struggles from a massage chair worth more than your car. Tucker and Greg simply asked the forbidden question, does the Empress even know?
It's true, the Harris interview did feel like a very special episode of Oprah, but instead of everybody getting a new car, everybody got an aneurysm.
And the silence was deafening. Nothing drowns out public voices like someone whose dog has a personal nutritionist and flies private with more space than a commercial pilot. Oprah's carefully curated humility has become a full-blown Broadway act, standing ovations, curtain calls, and ticket prices only hedge fund managers can afford. Her life's now one long monologue of self-congratulation, sprinkled with designer scarves and occasional tears. Greg Gutfeld compared her to a motivational overlord, hovering above ordinary people, scattering life advice like a crop duster except instead of seeds, it's glossy brochures about journaling by Himalayan salt lamps. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson tore apart the idea that Oprah is still authentic at this point. The most real thing in her life might be the diamond leash on her labradoodle. She appears everywhere after national tragedies, not to comfort, but to remind us she's still here, behind rose gold security gates, offering vague spiritual takes wrapped in metaphors about journeys. Critics tiptoe, journalists bend, and the public just nods, hypnotized by soft-spoken superiority. But Tucker and Greg weren't fooled. They dragged the glittering curtain down, exposing a billionaire guru who hasn't seen the inside of a Walmart since Blockbuster.